Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing you a reading vlog for Red, White, and Royal Blue. So there's a lot of books that I haven't read over the last few years, especially books that are considered Booktube or Bookstagram darlings, and I would consider Red, White, and Royal Blue one of those darlings. I have heard kind of mixed reviews on this book. For the most part, people either like it or they think it's overhyped. And even the people who think it's overhyped don't necessarily dislike the book, they just think it's overhyped. Or that the book doesn't like live up to the hype. So I thought, why not see how I feel about this book? So what I know about this book is that it is a love story between two men, and it is the President of the United States' son and the Prince of England. And it is also a sort of enemies to friends to lovers sort of story where they start off a bit animostic and sort of fall in love gradually over the course of their fake friendship, fake relationship type of thing. That's really all that I know about it. That's kind of all that I know about it. I've heard a lot of people who loved it, a lot of people who thought it was overhyped. I'm just incredibly excited to see how I feel about it in general. Yeah, so I thought this could be a fun little series of videos to do every so often, or just read a booktube darling and see how I feel about it, because I think it is important to read books for yourself as well. Like, there are some books that I don't want to read, or some tropes that I really don't appreciate or don't love reading about that I will steer clear of, but for the most part I do like to try and at least read a book on my own to garner my own opinion of it before I kind of pass a judgment on it. Let's crack on with this book and see how it goes. So I did read the first chapter of Red, White, and Royal Blue, and I am genuinely interested in where the story goes. It sets up the idea that Harry and Alex, our two main characters, have had a sort of antagonistic relationship for years. It doesn't explain really why, or if it's mutual or just Alex. And they sort of get into a mini altercation at Henry's brother's wedding and end up falling into the $75,000 wedding cake, and that sets off the rumor mill of this idea that these two can't stand each other. It sets off some bad press, and so the PR teams for both of them come up with this idea to have them pretend like they've been best friends forever. I'm genuinely interested in seeing where this goes. I love a fake relationship or fake dating sort of story, and I'm really interested in the idea that it's going to start with a friendship. I think sometimes with like enemies to lovers, I feel like that step is sort of skipped, where it goes from enemies to lovers, but like you forget that like that middle step of friendship is super important, because like I want to believe that these people actually like each other at the end of the day, and sometimes I don't always feel that way. So I am very excited that it is going to this idea of we have to pretend to be friends. I'm very excited about that. I think it's a fun read so far. I don't have a ton of other thoughts on it just yet, but I'm genuinely intrigued. So I'm going to, oops, sorry, I almost dropped my camera. So I'm gonna keep reading and see how it goes. Okay, so yesterday was my first day reading Red, White, and Royal Blue, and I read last night for a bit, so I got to chapter 5, where it kind of, I don't know how I feel about the jump from friends to potentially something more, because I was just praising the idea that they were going to have to become friends first, and like they did, But it is also only the start of chapter 5 and they just kissed for the first time, and I have a feeling they're not going to talk for a while and it's going to be this big thing and then it's not. But I don't know, I guess I expected the friendship phase to last a little bit longer, so that makes me a little concerned what the next sort of hurdle is going to be. Just for the simple fact that like romance novels tend to follow a very specific sort of pattern of events, and there's usually like a couple of hurdles they have to get over. And so if the first hurdle is admitting that they're into each other, we sort of are having it now. Alex is about to have a sort of sexual identity crisis, I feel, in a sense, figuring out like what his label is. And I don't want to be too hard on it because it's not like they're together yet. They just shared one kiss, and to Alex it came out of absolutely nowhere. And then Henry ran away, so it's going to be, it is a hurdle that they have to get through now. It's not like they're together and everything's like totally fine, but you know, we'll see. I just made some coffee because I'm really tired, and I'm gonna probably read like another chapter or two, and then I have to actually get started for my work day, so I'll give you an update there. Okay, so I just read for a little bit. I'm about like partway through chapter 6, and well, they're about to hook up. And this plot is so interesting because they went from sort of enemies to kind of friends in a very vague sort of fashion to now they're going to hook up, and now I feel like it's going to be, you know, casual, and that's going to be the thing that causes problems down the line. It's weird because like I'm still like, I'm liking this story and like enjoying it. It feels weirdly like it's moving at like lightning pace, and also like not, I don't know how to describe it, where like the beats of the story are interesting and like I'm enjoying following it, but it also feels like it keeps changing like at the drop of a hat. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. I don't know, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night and I have to start work, so that's gonna be it for me for today, for right now. Maybe I'll try to read later tonight or something, but I don't know how to, yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Ignore this really shitty lighting because it's like 12:30 at night, I guess 12:30 in the morning, and I'm reading. I was gonna read just a little bit more today before I called it a night, but then I got really into it, and now I'm at the part where they're at a karaoke bar and Henry's singing Don't Stop Me Now by Queen, which is one of my karaoke songs, so I'm feeling a really weird connection to Henry in this moment. Maybe it's lack of sleep. Maybe it's less of a connection and more of just Don't Stop Me Now is a banger and I'm really tired. So maybe I'm just thinking of, maybe this is deep to me right now because in this moment I have nothing. Food for thought. But I'm still enjoying this book. Like it's just still fun. I do feel like the other shoe is going to drop soon, because any good romance does have a sort of end of the second act wrench thrown into the relationship. So I'm sort of, I mean, I think I'm like halfway or so. I'm like a little less than halfway through, so I still have a little bit of time before that end of the second act wrench is thrown, but I'm feeling it. I feel it coming on, so I'm trying to stop before that, because once I hit it I will probably want to keep reading, and I do need to actually get some sleep tonight because I do have a long day of work tomorrow, but we'll see. Just wanted to give you a quick update. I guess I had a lot of thoughts about this Don't Stop Me Now thing. I don't know, blame it on the fact that I'm sleep deprived, I guess. Good morning. Back in my same spot from yesterday. I am just starting chapter 8. I know I read last night for a little bit, and then I mentioned about the karaoke. I don't know. It was an important moment for me, I guess, reading this. I still am liking it. I'm just having a hard time describing like how I feel about it. Cause like they're sort of, Henry and Alex are sort of pseudo dating, but they're not really calling it that. They're like trying to keep things sort of separate, but like it's not separate. So like I know that's going to be an issue. I'm liking their little conversations. I'm liking like there's one conversation we had about Henry's life growing up a little bit, and like the pressure he's felt, and like losing his dad so young, and trying and kind of basically, you know, basically being told that he has to not be who he is really sad. It's, you know, kind of what I expected to have happened sort of when we met him and Alex hated him. It's all good. I'm gonna read for a little bit right now because I have a little bit of time before work, but like I don't know, like I'm liking it, and maybe my problem is I'm trying to look for things to not like about it to feel like I'm being unbiased. Or maybe I just can't really articulate what's causing this weird hesitation. And maybe it's just waiting for the other shoe to drop for the story. I don't know. Maybe once I finish, I'll be able to actually articulate what I'm trying to say now. Or say, I have no idea what I was trying to say, it doesn't matter. But, yeah, that's kind of my quick update. I wish I had more for you, but I do not. Okay, so I'm down to my last like 100 pages, and I'm still liking it. I just don't know how I'm feeling, to be honest. Like, I like it. The characters are fine. The story's good. I like the different hurdles that they're going through. The hopeless romantic in me really likes the emails and the letter writing. But I'm still trying to piece together exactly how I feel about it. I think I'm just in this really weird space of, I don't like love it unashamedly, but I am enjoying it. So I think that should be a win, and I don't know why I'm struggling with it so much. I think it's because there's something that I'm picking up on that I don't love, but I can't articulate it just yet what exactly it is. But perhaps when I finish, I will. So, updates since I last checked in. Henry went to visit Austin with Alex and Alex's family. They had this moment where Alex basically admitted to being in love with Henry, and Henry freaked out and left and refused to speak to him for like a week. They got back together, decided that they were going to continue to try to be together and figure things out in the future. And oh, also Alex lost his job at his mother's campaign, which was really tough. And we're in the sort of sad third, as I like to call it. The third arc in romance novels always tends to start sad. You have the first hurdle of getting together, the second hurdle comes while you're together. Either the couple tends to break up, or they face a hurdle together, or there's the idea of maybe they weren't supposed to be together at all. And so it becomes this weird sort of sad dance. And so the third act tends to start in this weird, sad, melancholic headspace of maybe we're not supposed to be together, or maybe we'll never get together. And that's kind of where this story went. And they both have to pretend to be dating other people and all these things. So I have a feeling they're going to be outed. And I don't know how I feel about that. But I'm going to wait and not pass judgment just yet. I'm going to actually read it and see, because maybe they're not going to be outed. Maybe it's going to be something completely different. But like, if I had to guess, I think they're going to be outed by somebody or something. Then they're going to be forced to sort of be together, but like be together how everybody else wants them to be together. And it's going to cause them one last hurdle of, is this going to be our lives now? Like, we thought about being together in the future, but now we're supposed to follow these rigid rules and guidelines that other people want for us and all these different things. That's how I envision the last bit of this book going. But, you know, there's still 100 pages. I could be very wrong. But I'm probably gonna end up reading the rest of this tonight because I'm enjoying it. I am. There's just a quality that I can't place that I don't love. Hoping to put my finger on it. So I finished it and I did like it. I did end up liking it. I liked the story. I liked the different elements to it. I liked the characters. It was a nice, like, fun read. Overall, I did like it. I'm going to let it digest in my mind for like a day or two, and then I'll come back with some like final thoughts, but I did genuinely like it. I don't know if this is going to be a favorite, but I did like it. I don't know. So I finally finished Red, White, and Royal Blue, and I've kind of digested it for a couple of days, and I feel like I'm finally ready to like talk about my feelings about it. Overall, I did enjoy it, and I liked a lot of aspects of it. So the general story of sort of enemies to friends to lovers felt very organic in a way that I'm really not used to. I don't particularly enjoy enemies to lovers or antagonistic sort of friendship to lovers thing, because sometimes I feel like they sort of skip the part in the middle that tells us that these two people actually like each other at the end of the day. Thankfully, this book didn't do that. They did actually build up this idea of friendship between them, and I think it worked really, really well. I obviously really loved and appreciated Alex's sort of coming out and coming to terms with his queerness, because it's something that really resonated with me. And the line that he had where he's like, straight people probably don't spend a lot of time worrying about whether or not they're straight or trying to convince themselves that they're straight. And that's sort of how, like, perhaps too much information, but like that's sort of how I kind of came to my own bisexuality. And so I really loved and really appreciated that moment. But I think my judgment overall is that I did really enjoy it. I think it was a really cute, fun read. I really liked the characters. I thought the romance was incredibly sweet, very well done. I'm happy that it is obvious that they do love and genuinely like each other. I think that's a really important step in romances, which is why there's quite a few that fall flat for me. I just think it was very cute. I liked the use of multimedia and sort of the text messages and emails and things like that going back and forth. I just really enjoyed that. I liked the idea of fake friendship to real friendship to secret dating to real dating to all these other things. But I really liked all those things kind of meshed together. I think the relationship between them both was really well done. I liked that there were multiple side characters and that all of those side characters also had their own personalities, and that the relationships between like Alex and Nora and June was very different than Henry and his sister, and I think it just made the characters feel very real and fleshed out. I can understand and appreciate some of the hand wavy of the Secret Service, presidential stuff, British royal family stuff. Like, I am not that bothered by slight inaccuracies and, you know, kind of fictionalizations of it all. I did really genuinely enjoy it. I thought it was fun. And I just thought it was a very fun read, and I think that's kind of where I am leaving this book. It's a fun read. I enjoyed the characters. I thought the story was very cute and very fun and very romantic and sweet. And ultimately, I am going to leave this book with 4 stars from me, because I think the story was well done, the relationships were really well done, and just the general feeling you got after you read it, for me personally, just left me feeling very happy and content. So I'm going to leave this with 4 stars. Thank you guys so much for watching, and feel free to suggest down in the comments below any other books you think I should do this for. I like the idea of making this a continued series of reading books that are sort of the booktube darlings, or sort of very polarizing books. So feel free to drop any suggestions you have, any books you think I should read, any books you think I should do for this particular series. I'd love to hear them. But thank you guys again so much for watching, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.